Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me today onto my channel. We're going to talk with Circuit Hobbies owner. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi guys, my name is Deen, full name Zairuddin. I'm sure most of you guys know me by by Deen. So yeah, I started Circuit Hobby a year ago and now I'm here speaking with you.
Understand that today's date is 12, tomorrow is 13 of March 2021. As of time of recording, tomorrow is Circuit Hobbies last day of operations. Tell me what happened.
So we're closing tomorrow. Tomorrow is our last day of operation. And tomorrow marks exactly 1 year into our operation. We started last year in 14th March. And yeah, prior to that, with planning and whatnot, I think the business actually started somewhere early February.
Okay. So wait, let me get some understanding about this. So we know that there's a pandemic going on right now. So speaking of which, right, the pandemic is still impacting a lot of businesses. Why do you decide to do this despite the pandemic going on?
Actually, when we started, the pandemic just started, and this was like late 2019 and coming to January 2020. Nobody knew the pandemic gonna like go to this extent with lockdowns and whatnot. We all had the impression, I had the impression, it's something like what all the other typical flu pandemic, like SARS, that kind of stuff. It's just gonna blow over, affect like a number of people, that kind of stuff. But yeah, and to put it in like a plain sentence, we started before the pandemic went full blown, and just after we started, exactly 6 weeks we started, Singapore went into circuit breaker. Yeah.
So technically speaking, this idea was not in 2020. It's earlier than that, maybe 2019. So how come you had a vision to say, hey, I want to do a mini 4 store or a hobby space for Singapore? Because for me, right, I mean, if you ask me, I played since 2015. So I've been around for a while, not as long as some of the veterans out there, but then I do see the mini 4 landscape in Singapore quite small, because when I first started, I know got GS Hobbies, which is at Woodlands. I played for about 1 month, the place closed down. Then I know in Pandan, there used to be a place called, I forgot what's the name. I think some of you will know. I went there, it's closed down. Then some people say at Ang Mo Kio used to have. I went there, it's closed down. The first time I played, right, at Yishun, a handphone store, they put the tracks outside the store. I forgot what's the name again. But they put the track outside, and then when we go there and ask them, they say, oh, you self-service to the track. Just lay the track is whatever you want, and then just put it back. And then when I asked them, they had competitions, yeah, they had. And I remember back then, right, the prizes was like an iPhone. Back then, iPhone was a hot thing. So people were invested in this back then, but that was like 2015, 2016, and suddenly everything died down in like 2017. It's so quiet. I think the only place left to play is in Stargate. But then you came along. That's around 2019. I heard from a good friend. He said somebody somewhere wants to open a shop. Tell me what happened. I mean, how did it happen?
Okay. So, we went through life since like when we were kids. We went through NS, went to tertiary schools and whatnot. So we totally forgot about Tamiya. We totally forgot about mini 4 like in general. So when we played then, I think for me personally, it felt like something you do or we did as a kid. But then in between, we totally forgot about mini 4 already. And then what triggered me was when I was in Korea, when I met my friend in Korea, and then I was asking him, hey, bro, dude, what have you been doing lah? And then he showed me on his phone lah, like all these cars and stuff, like, what's going on? So this is a thing now. Yeah. And then he showed me photos and some videos, that kind of whatnot. Then I said, like, the setup is different lah. This is something else lah. And I remember he asked me to have a look at the store in Singapore because the scene there is really thriving, and I had no idea. And then when I came back to Singapore, and there was like somewhere in August or September 2019, came back to Singapore, went to Stargate with the idea of taking photos from the rack, send it to him, ask him to circle whatever parts he need, and then get it for me and ship it back lah. And you know lah, of course at that point I'm sure some parts or most parts are already like sought after, that kind of stuff. They try to get whatever their country don't have or they don't have there. So okay, bought some stuff over there. While waiting for him to reply, I went inside the track. I saw people playing, and then like most of the guys like around our age, like and then I look at the car like wow. And then I went inside by my own car lah. Then I bought my own car. Then straight away it's like, you know, a relapse what do I say? I fell back in love into mini photography because I totally forgot about it, and then that triggered me. I totally went full on. It's like online every day, YouTube every day, find out what is what. Try to go to Stargate as many times as possible. After that weekend, spend money, and then you never stop. And then after that, within that few months, in 2019, playing, I immediately realized one thing: is this the only track we can play? And then during that few months, I realized apart from that track that we can play at private tracks, private events, private races, but that's about it lah. There's only one store, one physical store we can go buy stuff at. And naturally, we buy stuff online, right? We not just look for cheaper stuff online, but we look for stuff that we don't have it here. And I remember most times we find ourselves in a position where we couldn't get some essentials. Like, motor habis, brakes no more, And then, this is ridiculous lah. Want to find motor, want to find brake, need to find online lah. And then let's say for example you want to play this weekend, then they're like, you did it now, you did this weekend, and how? Then you get like those expensive shipping lah, just to get it in a few days, that kind of stuff, or you buy in bulk just so you don't run out, stock up, right? And then when that same year I had a day job, the contract ended. They weren't gonna continue my contract. That's where I got triggered, like, why not find sources, find suppliers, and open up a small store where I have essentials, so people don't, like it may be slightly more expensive because it's a physical store, right, and it's sustain, but it is available there and then. If worst case scenario, if it's not available today, it'll be installed by the week after. That's it. So to provide supply to the local races, and at the same time, of course, grow the scene lah. Because if I reflect on myself, I wouldn't know about mini already until my friend told me about it. My friend showed me those photos. My friend showed me those videos. So I think to grow people, we need to reach out lah. We need to find new hobbies, that kind of stuff, and then from there, then we can grow lah. But that's about it lah.
So we say it like it's easy to open up a shop, like just spend money. Just give me a rough figure. How much money you actually make or spend? Not say make lah. What's your starting capital, and then is that from your own money or somebody supported you or?
So okay, at that point then 39 this year. So last year or 2 years ago I'm 37. So when this idea came about, I thought to myself like, because of course at the same time I was going around looking for jobs lah. Then I thought like, why not do something for myself lah? I have savings, and then at that point, I think most of you guys know I'm not married lah, and maybe not so soon lah. Then I think I settled down a lot of, or like completed a lot of those things that I need to settle in life. Then I thought like, why not do something for myself, do something that I love, apart from, because I believe, or I hear people say, if you do something that you love, you are not working, right? So it just makes sense for me to do this lah. Apart from having that day job, I've been DJing on weekends. So that is something that I love. But when I DJ, I get paid, but I don't feel like working, see? So same thing, day job, no more, channel money, to mini for everybody, open store and whatnot. And yeah, it was for my saving, and then I think the starting capital was about 20-ish. And then somewhere in between, more and more stuff come in. I get more tracks, I get more parts, I like grow my, my rack, items. And then I think all in together for around 40. Yeah.
Okay, that's not cheap. I mean, I think my parts at home also can reach about that kind of figures lah. But anyway, let's how to say did you outweigh the risk or not? Like for example, when you decide to sign the lease, right? I think by then people already start talking about the pandemic lah. I mean, people start talking about the virus. But then, you not consider the risk.
Okay, I did consider. Okay, the risks were the business, whether it can grow, whether we can sustain, and then second, the pandemic. Okay, first, the business on its own, the physical store. The physical store, what are the tangible items or second cost, parts, rack, outfitting, and all this. How to ROI, how to get your return on investment. So the basic figures is basically from for ROI is basically from part sales and then events. And events, there are two types of events. The in-store events, which I plan or have been doing through the whole year. The Fun Week, which I call it the time attack, which on a smaller scale, small track, in-store. But monthly and bi-monthly tandem races, which I plan to do at event spaces. Like a go-kart track, or maybe in conjunction or F1, that kind of stuff, or shopping center, shopping mall. Those are gonna be the main revenue for the store, for Secure Hobby. And then the risk is basically every business has risk, and the chances are that I either break even or I make some profit, not crazy profit. But when you factor in the pandemic, the risk will basically is gonna be like draggy, maybe slow for the first few months, and then when everything recovers, then we can go full on. We can do our events again, as planned, blah blah. But guess what happened? The pandemic basically killed both these risks, which initially could still be done could still be dealt with. With the pandemic, I couldn't do big events. I couldn't accommodate participants. You basically need around 30 to 50 participants and buy tickets for your tandem races or for your events. But I can do that. And then I was left to rely on part sales and in-store time attack events, which is the smaller scale ones. And then from just these two, I wasn't just breaking even or profit a bit. I was actually going on minus. So it was either minus or break even. The month that I break even, okay lah. But most of the months are minus lah. And at the same time, these are not the only factors. The pandemic affected the revenue. Is the capacity. People don't go out. Even the circuit breaker, people don't allow to go out, and I think naturally most of us just prefer to stay home, right? And then people weren't so outgoing and stuff, that kind of stuff. I know there are a handful of mini affordability hobbies out there, which are just plain collectors. They buy kits. We don't see them. They just get at home, they build at home, they stay at home. The cast doesn't even live attack. That is also part and component of the hobby lah. You don't exactly need to play, right? Some people just collect kits. Some people collect kits to build. Some people build and display. And yeah, those were the risks that I took and apparently all those risks just materialize
I mean, if you keep going on towards deficit, then it's not worth it lah. Even though we all love this game, I mean, even for myself, like when the pandemic hits, right, it's quite saddening because first things first, my plans to go overseas, everything just like, I'm supposed to go to a lot of places. Like I want to visit my friends again in Indonesia. The plan was to have the Asia Challenge in Taiwan. Then I'm excited to meet more Taiwan races. Then it just kicked off. And then I think I went Japan 4 times. So far I only start in 2016. I go to Japan 4 times. 4 times to, find mini for stuff because it's never ending stuff over there. So the plan was to go Japan again. But now with travel restrictions plus every other company is taking that precautions not to allow leisure travel, then I think it really impacts the Mini 4 landscape lah. So never mind that, because I think the cons is like, okay, people don't go out, people don't spend as much as they used to. But then there are also people who continue to build and they continue to play. So let's just talk about that part now. So far from your perspective as a shop owner, don't talk about regular races. We talk about newbies. Those extreme newbies who just walk in and just say, hey, I didn't know this place existed. I think those are normal stuff that happen, right? I never seen this place existed. I didn't know this thing is still around. Then what do you normally tell them?
Okay, out of 10 customers that walk in, there will be around 1 or 2 newbies. And out of these 1 or 2 newbies, one are the ones that started somewhere in circuit breaker. They started on their own. And then they came to the store, they start play. Then the other one will be like, they found a video online from the webpage online on Facebook and whatnot. And then they come down, they buy a kit and they start to play. Imagine that, there's only 2. And out of these 2, some are consistent, constantly playing, constantly buying stuff, constantly upgrading, that kind of stuff. I think since 2021, the years went full on. People went back to work full on. After the circuit breaker, most company weren't sure how to operate because some need to work from home. They cannot come to the office and whatnot. I'm sure those companies were figuring out how their strategies, how to follow on with the business, how to operate, and so on and so forth. They did all their planning in 2020, and then come 2021, January, everybody went full on. So, like for example, in some of my friends' cases, they need to work 2 days in the office, and then the other 3 days at home. And those are just their logistic where they have to be during the week. But work-wise, it's already full on. They're 100%. So these newbies, I believe they are already busy with work. Some I don't see anymore. Yes, so I assume they are busy with work. And to sustain the shop with just the season races, not enough. That's all I can say. Not enough.
Let's just say there's no pandemic. Although we cannot predict that, but let's just say there's no pandemic. Then do you see that this particular landscape of Mini 4 races will grow? Because if you ask me, right, the way I look at it is just through my through what I see from Stargate races. Okay, Stargate is like our main local distributor for Tamiya. So only through Stargate race, where most of the locals call it official races, we will see a number of people, and I think I can count a handful, about 50 to 60 people only. The time when I started playing, I think around 2017-ish, there is suddenly a sudden spike, about 100 plus over people play, and that was I've never seen that much people before. Over 100 considered is way too many people already, because if you cannot finish your ticket on time, that's way too many people. If you finish your ticket too soon, and then you have to wait, right, means there's too little people. We generally see from that. So if let's say the landscape continue 100 over people constantly, right, and then you keep getting more people, more new people, do you think this business as a business, right, can grow?
Yes, totally. If I imagine if all my plans did pull through, we would probably have more local races, as in not just staggered races or official races. We would have like made more events that could have reached out to even more people, which we haven't been doing. And ultimately, I'm sure it is bigger than what it is right now. Because we even with the pandemic, even with just Circuit Hobby started, 3 other shops pop up. Just to mention, there's Playla, there's Poison Garage, there's the Playground, and now there's even Underground mini further already. These shops popped up after Circuit Breaker. They started doing phase 2 and till now, and I'm not sure how they gonna pan out after this. But yeah, after Circuit Hobby, 4 more shops pop up. So in some way, I can't exactly say it didn't grow lah. It did grow, but it only grew to that certain extent. It was limited. If only if without the pandemic, imagine now we got like 5 private shops plus target 6. I think it's way bigger. It will be way bigger than what it is right now. Sayang lah.
Yeah lah. I mean, speaking of the other 4 shops, we have the Playground, the Underground, and the Poison Garage. We're gonna get to them soon. We're gonna ask them some things also. So just to finalize this whole topic, right? Last things, does these shops that open get influenced by your decision to open a shop in the first place? Do you think that happened, or they just decide to open?
I think most of them started, like the ones I know lah, started doing Circuit Breaker. But what got them decided to open their store, I'm not sure lah.
We will find out from them.
Yeah.
Okay, last parting words. Anything you want to tell your fans right now? Last few minutes.
Fans. Kipas. What can I say? I want to say cliche words like keep on running. Yeah, they want you guys already know. Let me just quickly think. Okay. So those who know me personally, or those who like met me, spoke about mini Ferrari with me, to me, you guys know where I'm coming from. My idea has always been to grow the hobby, because I have a vision. I believe the hobby can be bigger than what it was, or bigger than it is. There are always ways to make this hobby better. There are always ways to grow your enthusiasm for this hobby. As long you maintain interest, as in you keep on trying doing things, you keep on trying new things, do not keep to yourself. Go out and play, try out new setup, speak to other people, find out, okay, like even if you're at home, go online, find for new, follow those mini Ferrari hobbies online, you get new ideas. As long you keep doing that, I believe you will keep on running. You keep on upgrading, you keep on doing, then you won't just stop there. Same goes for like most hobby any other hobby. If you do home, what do you call it, any hobbies at home, plants lah, fish, you just abandon it, you're just gonna die lah. That's what I did lah. And I hope I see you guys out there lah. I'm sure I'm gonna go to other shops and play. I'm sure I'm gonna keep doing this. And as much as possible, if I see you guys out there, say hi lah.
Okay, so this is Deen. I think he's going to continue to become a racer next. I'm going to find him a force to be reckoned with. Maybe we'll see his name on the leaderboard of other places.
I need to start working on my setup. Get competitive.
Okay, I think that's about it for today. Thank you for joining us. Maybe we'll see you in the next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys.